was little, my parents began teaching me about tithing. And it was just a really neat, fun thing. All my friends and I would sit and we'd get to put our money in the plate at the church. And that was a good feeling and a really good thing we thought we were doing. Well, as I began to get a little older, I began to see my parents and my grandparents having a lot of financial problems. And this kind of confused me because I was thinking, if everybody's having trouble, why are we still giving money to the church? When I would ask them about it, it was like, it's not a negotiable. We give our money to God, we give to the church, and God's going to take care of us. And He did. I didn't understand it, but my parents talked to me a lot about faith at that time and showed me by their lives what they were doing. And when I got older and I was working on my own and going to college and making my own money, I thought, well, I was a whole lot smarter than my parents and my grandparents were. So I began to try to deal with God on my tithing. Didn't take very long before my life was just a pretty big mess everywhere. And thank goodness God doesn't give up on us. He gives us a second chance. And about that time in college, Martin came into my life. I saw him with faith in everything we did. We were a poor young married couple, but God took care of us.
From the time I got my first $1 a week allowance, I every Sunday brought my dime, my 10 cents, and gave it to God and to our church. But my life changed when I was 10. My dad preached a sermon entitled, "You Cannot Outgive God." And in that sermon, he talked about no matter how much you give to God, He will always richly bless you, much more than you give. So instead of giving my 10 cents, I decided to increase it to 25 cents, 25% of my $1 allowance. I didn't tell my parents, I didn't tell anybody. I just started giving it. And a couple of weeks later, a strange thing happened. My dad walked into my room and he said, "Son," he said, "I've decided it's time to give you a raise in your allowance." And he gave me a raise to $2. Now, that had a profound effect on a 10-year-old boy. And from that point forward, I've always given above the tithe. And God has richly blessed me throughout my life. I mean, when we decided to get married, I didn't even have the money to buy Becky's ring. I had to borrow $300 to buy her wedding ring. But God is just faithful. He's faithful to us. We started out very poor, and today, we live comfortably. God has given us everything that we need. So I challenge you today. I challenge you to ask God what He wants you to give. Now, get ready. Get ready. You're going to be shocked with the number that He gives you, and you're going to look at that number and say, there is no way I can afford to give that much. But when you make that commitment to God, and you commit to Him and give that to Him, you will be richly blessed. You will be really surprised at what God does in your life. Because see, my dad was right. And what my dad said more than 50 years ago still rings true today. You cannot outgive God.